This is the Nintendo Family Computer, or Famicom. It was released in Japan in 1983, and this is what we in Europe and the US got to know as the NES. So the Famicom was released 2 years before the NES in the US and Europe, but it is essentially the same console. It takes the same cartridges as the NES, but they are quite smaller, as you can see, and it can run Windows 98. Well, not quite. However, there is a homebrew ROM that was released for this console that was made to look like Windows 98. And since I covered a bunch of similar apps for other consoles, I thought, why not do the NES/Famicom next? So unfortunately, I do not have a flash card for this console, so I will be covering this in an emulator over on my PC. But if you had a flash card, you could put that ROM on here and just play it normally on the console. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started with the video. VIP-SCDkey is the sponsor of this video. You can check them out for the cheapest Windows 11 CD keys on the market, and you can also use my discount code skhub for 25% off, which brings the price to only $23. The buying process is very easy, safe, and simple, and you just get your key on your email, type it in, and boom, Windows is activated. Thank you so much for VIP-SCDkey for sponsoring this video. All of the links will be in the description, so definitely check them out. And here we are on our lovely desktop, so I already got everything set up right here, and we can open a new file. So I'll open fcwin98.nes and click open. And you can see that we are greeted with the Energy BIOS. And we also do get the Windows 98 boot up screen, which I find pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is Japanese or Chinese language, so yeah, I will have a bit of trouble because I won't know what anything says. But we've looked at games like this in the past, which were in different languages, so it should be absolutely fine. So you can see that we are greeted with a little login screen, and the username is THX, and there is some sort of password put in. So you navigate with the mouse cursor with your arrow keys, and yeah, we'll just go over to continue and press A. And that must have been the company that made this ROM, and here we are on the desktop, which looks incredibly cool. And we have a bunch of icons on the desktop. I'm guessing this one is this PC. This is some sort of a files app, probably. This is a network setup, which will be pretty interesting to check out. We have the recycling bin and the Internet Explorer, of course. So let's check out the start menu, and we have Windows Update, which I don't know how that would be possible. And we also have a bunch of different options. This one is probably to sign out, and this one is to shut down. So yeah, we'll just check out all of this pretty much. Also, every time you click on something, the screen has to refresh. That is probably due to the limited memory on the cartridge, but it looks pretty funny. And yeah, I have no idea what this icon is. Basically just resets the cursor to the middle. And let's see if we can control the volume, maybe. No, we can't, because I'm pretty sure this has no volume. Ooh, what is that? That looks pretty interesting. Let's click on... We can't seem to click on any of these options, but that's what happens when you click on the little EN right here. Okay, so let's go over into this PC and see what it looks like. So we have the floppy drive A, we have our disk C, we have disk D, and we also have disk E, which is the DVD drive. So yeah, they pretty much mimicked everything as it looks. None of these options up here are clickable, which is pretty understandable because, you know, I wouldn't expect all of these to work. These are just cosmetics. So let's see, do we have anything in the floppy drive? And we have a BMP file and a .txt file. So let's click on the BMP file that is in the floppy drive. Okay, we just have a boy sitting on a field. Interesting. The scroll buttons don't work or anything. Okay, that's cool. The X button does work. Let's check out the text document. And yeah, I have no idea what this says. If any of you can translate in the comments, that would be appreciated. But yeah, it is pretty cool that they actually like included real files on this. I wouldn't expect them to do that. I don't know if those images are made in Microsoft Paint or are they actually made inside of this little program. That would be pretty cool if they they are. We'll check out later if we have like a paint app or something. So yeah, I have no idea if any of these buttons to go back work, but maybe we just need to press X and go back in here. So let's check out the C drive. What do we have in here? And we have My Documents, Program Files, and Windows. So this is actually in English, so I can navigate through this. So let's check out My Documents, and we have one single BMP image, so let's check that out. And it is the same image as before. Nice. So they probably just copied this over and over again. Program files. Ooh, look at that. We have Adobe Photoshop and Microsoft Word. Ooh, I'm very interested in this. Let's check out Adobe Photoshop. And unfortunately you can't click on it. That's pretty disappointing. But it is pretty cool. They actually made this little icon look pretty similar to the old Photoshop icons. Yeah, it's unfortunate that you can't click on these, but I guess that would be pretty expected. And let's check out the last folder on the C drive, which is Windows. Ooh, and we have some more folders inside of here. So let's go into Command. And we can't go into Command, Config, we can't go into Config, and we can't go into the Start menu. So yeah, these are just like for show, I guess, which is still pretty cool that they just didn't leave this directory empty. So they did try to put something in here, but it's just either empty or you can't click on it. But yeah, since the cartridge's memory is really limited, I don't expect much from this. It is made to run on an NES with these specs. So yeah, this is pretty impressive as it is already. Let's check out the D drive. And we have another BMP, but we're gonna check that out later. Ooh, and we have another one in this folder. And this is just like a little pirate map, which looks pretty cool. I don't know which animal this is, but these two look like, I don't know, Arctic foxes or something. Yeah, this looks pretty cool. This image is much cooler than the other one. Let's check out the other folder, and we have another BMP. Ooh, and it's a little snowman. Nice. Yeah, these images are actually drawn pretty well. I'm not sure if this is like drawn in Microsoft Paint or something, but I'm pretty sure it is because they are pretty primitive, but they still look pretty impressive. Someone really took the time to draw this. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's check out the third one in the D drive. Interesting. This is like a table tennis player, which is pretty expected because this is some sort of Asian homebrew, so yeah, they are pretty good at their table tennis. Yeah, these images are really cool. I don't know why they would include them. I guess this is just too primitive to include any sort of program or something, so they just went with images. But it is still pretty interesting, I guess. The E drive contains more images. Yeah, this is like a camel in the desert. We also have 103 plus 5601 equals and a bunch of school bags. And the last one is Pikachu. Nice. Okay, this is the best one so far. Yeah, it is actually done really well. Pika Dance and Pika Click. Nice. I hope this is not just full of random images. I hope there is some other functionalities, but so far we are just checking out this PC. Look, they even included some printer drivers lookalikes. That's pretty cool. You gotta admit that's pretty cool. Yeah, we have the phone line. Ooh, look, the fax app even works. You can't click on anything, but it does bring you to the little Windows 98 window. Yeah, none of these buttons are clickable, but this is a pretty cool interface. We also have a charging app, which, I don't know, suggests that this was made for a laptop. But yeah, that does nothing. We have a little video app. I'm guessing none of these do anything, but these two are actually clickable. And we also have this folder right over here, which is some sort of networking folder. Ooh, and this one actually brings something up. So I guess this is just like a dial-up modem setup. So yeah, they really made this look really similar. It seems pretty pointless to include these types of things on these sort of apps, but I guess you can't do anything else really. Like, what would you put on a Windows lookalike than a bunch of these? So yeah, we checked out the entire this PC directory, so now we can go further. So let's check out some of the other icons. This is a folder icon and it contains a single image. I'm pretty sure I've already seen this file name, but we'll still click on it. And yeah, as I said, it is the boy once again. This is the one that seems to be the most repetitive out of all of them. I have no idea why, I have no idea who this is, but, you know, maybe it is some sort of significant figure. This is a briefcase icon, so let's check that out, and it is the same. image once again. I already see it with the file name. Yeah, it seems that they got a little carried away while making these desktop icons. Ooh, so this is an interesting thing. We have 3 PC icons: song, ren, thx. Huh, let's see what is song. So it just has a bunch of folders that are not clickable. Is this like a user select maybe? Are these like users and these are their names? Because we did log into thx. Maybe since we are logged in thx, these are clickable. Let's see. No, they're not. These are just in English. It says bug and work. So they built like a little makeshift user selection screen in there, which is quite cool. The recycling bin once again contains a few BMP and text documents, but they are not clickable, unfortunately. Which makes sense because someone threw them away, probably for a reason. And yeah, let's check out Internet Explorer. I'm not sure if this will be clickable, but maybe it brings us to some sort of makeshift website. Ooh, and it does! Ooh, sohu.com. Okay, we can't seem to click on anything on here. Oh, is this Soku? Yeah, this is soku.com actually. Oh no, it is Sohu. Yeah, this is really hard to read, but up here it says Sohu. I'll Google this in real life and see if this is actually a real website, which would be pretty cool if it is made to look like a real website. And here is the actual sohu.com website, so it is actually a real website. Also, the Google Translate translated it from Chinese, so I guess that is a Chinese app, and the entire app is in Chinese. Yeah, so this seems to be just like a news outlet of some sort. It has a bunch of ads. Also, we have you can make a Sohu account and Sohu Mail, so this is also a mail client. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is a popular website in China, but yeah, they made a lookalike in the app for some reason. It is pretty cool that it is actually a legit website, so yeah, let's continue with the video. So yeah, let's exit out of this, and is that the only website that we have available? But yeah, it brings us to like Microsoft Windows here, and then it loads sohu.com. I don't know if that was something that is actually like that in Windows 98, where it brings you to the Microsoft website before you load anything first. But yeah, the only thing we have left to check out is the start menu, so let's do that. I'm really interested in what Windows Update does. Ooh, so it brings you to the Windows Update website that it briefly loaded while loading soku.com. And there you can't click on anything on here. So yeah, I knew this website was similar to me, but this is what the old Windows Update website used to look like back in Windows 98. Yeah, it is really cool that they made this feature. And yeah, inside of these we have a bunch of other directories, so we can click on all of these. Yeah, we can click on... interesting. This brought us to like a file explorer thing, but this is just an image. You can't click on anything once again. But would you look at that? These directories are so nicely made in this pixel art. They really made everything work pretty well, which is pretty cool. Would you look at that? I clicked on Microsoft Word and it actually opened it. I'm not sure why they wouldn't have made it openable from like the Word app that we found earlier, but I clicked on it here and it actually opened it. Nice. You can't type anything, unfortunately, and I don't know, frankly, how you would, because there is no keyboard. But yeah, I guess you can access Word for a little. Let's see if you can access Excel. Yeah, you can. It has like a blank table and everything. Yeah, and photos. Yeah, here is Adobe Photoshop. So I don't know why you can't access them from the actual program files where we were before. But yeah, anyways, you can't click on anything, so it is not really that interesting. But yeah, you can access it from here. Yeah, let me also check out this, because I wanted to check out if this is actually a Paint app. Is it actually usable? No, unfortunately, it's not usable. So those images weren't made on this program because the Paint app is not, unfortunately, usable. But yeah, that is unfortunate, but it seems that they just did that on PC and then brought it over to this program. And look at this, you can click on all of these things. Oh no, you can't click on anything in that directory. And now it is pretty hard to go back, so we need to do this. Yeah, this is not really easy to use. They didn't do the controls very well, but you know, what can you expect? It is on an NES, and I clicked on it again. Okay, let's try that one more time. Let's try out the calculator to see if that works. Oh my god. Oh, they couldn't even import a calculator in this. Ah, that is pretty sad. I thought at least the calculator would work. Usually at least a few apps work on these types of software. But again, understandable. This is like 500 kilobytes or something in size. So I guess, you know, they get a pass for not making this work. But a bootleg calculator is pretty wild. And this is just like a notes app. Again, you can't really do anything with it. We have a few MP3 files under this, and we also have something that you can't click on. Here we have a few files that, once again, you can't click on. And we do have a search engine, which you can search your documents, you can search your computer, and you can search the internet, and none of them work. Again, it would be pretty cool if they at least made this when you click on internet, it would bring you to Internet Explorer, so that it at least works from all of the places that it is available. But I guess, again, that would be too complicated and too big for this sort of app. Okay, I entered into something called Windows, and it brought me right here. I'm pretty sure this is like a help center of some sort. Looks pretty cool. I have no idea what any of this says again. And yeah, lastly, we have this, which is an MS-DOS prompt. And if you click on this, it brings you back into the File Explorer. And let's see if any of the other buttons do anything. This one looks like it does something. Oh, it actually fires up the MS-DOS prompt. Okay, that is pretty nice. You gotta give him that. I didn't expect it to actually open up like an MS-DOS prompt. You can't type anything because there is no keyboard, but this is really nice. I didn't expect that it would bring you into the MS-DOS prompt, and it actually does. So yeah, props to them for that. What does this middle button do? Nothing. That is the cancel button. And yeah, you can log out and shut down. If we log out, I guess we're just gonna get put back into the user selection screen, but let's try that out. Oh, it actually brings you back to the splash screen of Windows 98, and yeah, back into the login screen. And if we try to shut down the computer, what does happen? We do have all of the options, but you can't click on any of them. So I'll select shut down. And I'm guessing this says it is safe to turn off your computer, mimicking this screen right over here, which actually is present in Windows 98. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this homebrew app. I gotta admit, it wasn't the most interesting one because it had no real options available. It is still very impressive that they actually made something work like this, and you can actually run this on an NES, again, with these specs, so you gotta give them props for that. But yeah, you can't really do anything in this app. It is just like a really cool gimmick that makes it look like you're running Windows 98. I have checked out better ones on more modern consoles, but yeah, I guess that is to be expected. So yeah, I hope you found this video interesting. Thank you guys for checking it out. Also, thank you for the overwhelming support on the last few videos. My channel has been blowing up recently, and I'm really thankful to you guys. It really does mean a lot. Also, more complicated videos will be coming soon, and longer videos, and like hopefully more interesting videos than this one. But yeah, I am currently working on those, and I do have quite a few things to do for college now. But yeah, I'll try to keep a respectable upload schedule during these times. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Also, please check out my Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video.